Creating from the Heart, the Artistry of Living, and I'm here with Kathi Flanagan, who is a quilter. She loves to play with material.
Material, fabric, color. Yes, I do.
So how did you get into this?
Go again. My mother, pretty much all her life, was a collector of just beautiful things, I should say, but beautiful fabric. She loved beautiful fabric. And like if she would travel, she would buy pieces of fabric and we'd like, well, but she didn't sew. She just collected pieces, and they would be small pieces, nothing enough to make anything with, really. So when her 80th birthday came along, was coming up, and I had been a knitter and a spinner, and just had to stop doing that. It was really bothering my neck and shoulder. I got a pinched nerve in my neck, and I had to find another outlet, basically, of something. And I love to make things. I've always been a maker, always. So I took all these pieces of fabric, which she was getting rid of, and I decided I was going to make a quilt. Also, Kaffe Fassett.
Yes.
Okay, he was really my first inspiration. He put a book out. Oh, this is back in...
I'm going to just reach over and do this.
Okay.
Go ahead.
He put a book out, or published a book in, I want to say the 90s. Probably the 90s or a little later. One of his first books. And it was a book on quilts, but it was more than quilts. It was just his beautiful, beautiful use of color.
Yes.
And, oh my God.
He's amazing.
He's amazing. Well, he was my inspiration, and it was his pattern that I used for the first quilt I ever made. And I made it for my mother's 80th birthday. Long story short. So that's what started me. But
and your mother was thrilled, of course.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, And
I mean, you
passed,
took everything she had collected and put it into a piece.
Especially this one fabric, and it was from Thailand. It was when she visited. I lived in the Philippines for 5 years, and I had a very good friend who used to live with us, actually, a little bit. She was my sister's best friend, and she lived in Thailand. So it was really nice. My parents came to see me, and then they went to see her. And she had bought this, it's the most gorgeous piece of silk ever. And that's what really started the whole thing. And it was very, very much in Kaffe's, color palette. The colors he loves to use, those big, vibrant colors. A lot of big flower, big pattern in it. And so, that took off, and I made many, many, many quilts, hundreds of quilts, bed quilts, baby quilts, and never really made art quilts until about, I would say about 7 years ago. I started making more artistic quilts that you would hang on the wall rather than put on a bed.
And these are quilts that probably don't often have squares only in them.
No, they're all improv and all very free. Yeah, you get the patterns are great, and they teach you everything. All of my work is pieced. I don't do any applique or fusing, and that is a beautiful, wonderful technique again. But it's just you choose. You make a choice of how you want to present your work, and so that's how I've been working with it and using different techniques of framing and hanging so that it looks and appears more like art rather than a quilt hanging on the wall.
So people who don't have room for a huge quilt on their wall can still have an appreciated quilted piece.
Yeah, and fiber. I mean, I think fiber has just not, it's just starting to make its resurgence. We talked about Bisa Butler at the Art Institute. Huge to me. That was really a huge step. First of all, for the Art Institute, and then second of all, I think it was a very successful show. So that was awesome, because if it wasn't, then they probably wouldn't have too much more fiber. But it was a beautiful, beautiful show, and huge quilts.
Yes,
she had some really big pieces there. And just the way she develops her work is very different than mine in the sense that how she puts it together. And that's what I was saying about everybody pieces a little bit differently. And then I do most of my own long arm quilting too, the quilting that goes on top. I do most of that myself. Some of the bigger quilts, they don't fit on my frame, and I have to send those out. But
That's what you get for doing big
yeah,
pieces.
I know. So anyway, yeah, I'm excited about the show. I think it'll be, yeah, we'll see. You know, I still have time to create new work, which I'm really excited about.
Great. We're going to have a show in September and October at the Beverly Shores Museum and Art Gallery, which is in the depot at Beverly Shores. We can't wait.
Yeah, nice.
It's going to be fun.
Now, are you in charge of the 5x5 too?
No, I'm not in charge of it.
But you're also involved.
I'm no longer chair, so I'm
Okay,
out
you
of a
get
lot of things. But I hope to participate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's nice. Good. Well, I was at the first time I went there was last year. You had an opening for Joel.
Yes, Joel Sheasley.
And I came to that. Boy, very well attended.
Wasn't it?
Lots and lots of people there. So that was my first exposure to it, which was really pleasing. Yeah.
It's good. Second Fridays of every month starting in April.
Okay. Second Fridays, that's good.
Yeah, not the first.
Not the
That's
first.
Michigan
I
City.
know.
And it's not the whatever Friday it is in Chesterton.
Oh,
it's
okay.
the second Friday.
Nice.
Yeah.
So and whatever's being shown.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Our first show this year is about Pine School. All the kids who are artists there, we're going to have them, and their families always come, and it turns out it's a big deal to have people like that. And then the next one, I think, if my memory serves me correctly, is Bob Stanley, who is a painter and a digital person, and he puts stuff together, and on like that. Yeah.
And then the shop.
The gift shop?
Is the gift shop next to it?
No, it's right in it. It's
That's
in
what I
the
thought.
same building.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
It was part of it, because I was thinking, is there something separate that I missed?
And there's a museum in there too.
Right.
We fit a lot in a very small building.
That's why it's called the Depot.
Right. Okay, well, I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't either, Suzy. Thank you so much for
You're
the
welcome.
invitation.
Okay.
I appreciate it.
We'll see you next time
Yep.
from Creating from the Heart. And if you know anybody I should interview, please let me know.